No way! You still remember that? I'm so flattered that you still remember all those small little details about our relationship. I thought it was just me. I thought I was the only one who was cataloging the past, if you will. Committing all those tiny little events to memory just so I can fawn over them later. It's just so nice and validating to know that you feel the same way. Well, not as much as me, though. I mean, that's just my assumption, but it's a very confident assumption. But still, I think it speaks volumes about our compatibility that, we're both so nostalgic over our little love story. Especially since I was in a relationship with you a lot sooner than you were in a relationship with me. If you catch my drift. I know we think about our past all the time, but now that we're scrolling past all these nostalgic places like this, it's like we're literally taking a walk down memory lane. All the good memories just come rushing back, and they're so much more vivid and stimulating than when you just think about them in passing. When you're in bed or eating lunch or something not really relevant like that. I wish we could feel like this all the time. Oh, like right here! Oh my god, right here! This tree! I know this tree because it's the one that I got struck by lightning 2 times, and it kind of looks like it has a face. But, yeah, this is where we first met. Well, where I met you. Anyway, you weren't exactly aware of our little meeting, seeing as how I was hiding in the bushes the whole time. Anyway, my cat had gone missing, and I knew some people might think, oh, it's just a pet, but she means a lot to me. She was my only real friend. Until I met you. Well, you're way more than a friend, but you know what I mean. Back to the point. I was so anxious and stressed looking up and down town to find her, and lo and behold, I had found you getting her out of the tree. Now, obviously not having had as much social experience at the time, I was way too shy to get anywhere near you. Hence the bushes. But, to be completely honest, I'm so glad that I hid there, because I got to watch you spend several hours just trying to gently coax her out of the tree. You were just so patient and compassionate to my only companion, no less. It's no wonder that was the moment I fell in love with you. You really should have gotten a ladder, though. Spending so much time on the cat made me think that you just really like them, so because of that, oh no, this is embarrassing to admit, but that was when I bought the cat costume. The ears and tail and the little bell. I thought that maybe you'd be really into it due to the whole fiasco. I even, oh god, I even practiced my little yeah thing you see in anime. I had your picture, one of many in my collection, taped to a wall, and I would just look at it and rehearse the lines like, yeah, you're looking perfect today. Would you like a mouthful of my cooking? I'm just positive you'll love it. I don't know how I had that many cat puns in me, and it hurts to say, but I even practiced that little gesture in front of the mirror. The one where, the hand imitates the paws. Oh, and when you came to my house to hand over my cat, and I had to muster all of the courage I had in me to do the thing, I don't know what I was thinking. But you laughed, and it really disarmed the whole tension of the situation where I was finally talking to you face to face for the first time. I get so flushed thinking about it now, but it's fine. As long as you think it's cute. You do think it's cute, right? Okay, you're just checking. Good taste, by the way. I mean, of course you think it's cute. I saw your expression when I wore it to your house on Halloween. For trick-or-treating. You look like an unsupervised kid in a candy shop with their mother's credit card. Actually, fun fact, I actually visited you for trick-or-treating several times on that night. Of course, I didn't want you to know it was the same person coming back several times. You would think I was either a creep or worse, a candy addict. So, I would wear a different costume each time I visited and try to change my voice just a little. My favorite was the Batman costume, just because it gave me an excuse to use the deep voice and I hadn't used before. It would have otherwise been outlandish to raise some red flags, but, the "I'm Batman" voice. Oh, do you see that trash can? I know, I'm so weird pointing out a trash can, but bear with me. That was where you threw out the wrapper of your favorite candy bar. After you had left, I obviously retrieved it. I still have it back home in my collection. Ever since I found out it was your favorite, I always made sure to keep several in my purse. Just in case. I'm not really a fan of them, but hey, to each their own. You can have your own interest and taste. Except in women. Your taste in women has to be me. No exceptions. Oh, look! It's the cafe, remember? When we had our first lunch together? Oh, well, I kind of thought it was a first date. I know we never said the word, but I could feel the vibe. Okay, maybe it was just a lunch. But still, I put a lot of effort into this. I had to do a lot of scouting of various restaurants before I could recommend a place for a little outing. I wasn't worried about the food so much as I was worried about the staff, because, well, you know why. You see, I didn't want any waitresses getting the wrong idea about you just because you're polite to them. That's why I needed a place that only happened to have waiters. Maybe I should have worried more about whether the food was going to be good or not. But, to be honest, any meal is good when it's with you. I'd rather eat stale bread with you than a savory steak alone. And besides, you ended up really liking the food here, right? We ended up going back all the time. I'm guessing it's not just for nostalgia. I still remember that day. Lunch. So fondly. You had asked me what my favorite song was, and I replied with Number One Crush by Garbage. I think it's rather poetic seeing how it just fits our relationship so well. I think you would have looked a little shocked if you knew about the song beforehand, though. It was such a good date. I mean lunch. We had played Truth or Dare. I already knew everything about you, even back then, that early in our relationship, so I only asked for your dares. I hate to admit it, but I really exploited the situation. Daring you to do things like holding my hand or giving me a hug. I'm sorry for corrupting your pure heart and mind. Of course, you mainly asked me for truths, remember? You were so shocked. You asked me if I could save your life at the cost of not saving a million others if I would do it, and I looked you dead in the eyes and said, yes. My expression was so serious and deadpan. I think that was your first moment you thought, I think she might be yonder. Oh, if only you knew the half of it. Hey, look! This is where I bought the dress, remember? You were absolutely drooling at the dress when you saw it window shopping. Your mouth was like Niagara Falls. You stared at it for a good 15 minutes. I think people were starting to give you weird looks, which honestly kind of irritated me, but I just hate when others look at you. Anyway, I was stalking you at the time, so I didn't really want to make a scene. Yeah. Well, obviously you weren't going to buy it for yourself, so you passed. But later, when you saw it on me, when you saw it on me, your jaw dropped. Of course, part of that was because I just come down your chimney to give you your wire-trap Christmas present. But I like to think it was mostly how good I looked in the dress. Thanks for not pressing charges, by the way. That's the best Christmas gift I could ever ask for. Well, other than a marriage certificate. Standing offer. Wow. Just wow. This was when we had our first actual date. Remember? You even said the word date. When we laid down under the moon and stars and just looked up at them. Well, you looked up at them. I tried, I really did, but I wanted to make a good date after all. But your gravity was just so much greater than theirs. I think I only saw them as a reflection in your eyes. Would you like to do that again? Look up at the stars here sometime? Just like old times. Okay. Just don't give them too much attention. You know how I can get so jealous.